You're listening to Following On here on talkSPORT 2 with me, Neil Manthorp, along with double Ashes winner Steve Harmison. And you can now watch the whole show on YouTube. If you're not doing that already, just head over to the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel and subscribe. Right, time to talk Border Gavaskar Trophy and all things India with Subhayan Chakraborty, Senior Assistant Editor at Rev Sports. Subhayan, thanks for your time. I know you're still in Sydney. It's quite late at night, but really appreciate you making the time for us. Let's just start with an overview then. Reflection on the scoreline. Was 3-1 fair?
I think so. And first of all, it's a pleasure to join you guys to talk some quality cricket. And of course, I think if we talk about the scoreline, it's a fair display of what happened out there on the field. Australia pretty much dominated the scheme of things in Adelaide, even in Brisbane, which was a washed out. But Australia were pretty much up there to win that test as well. Had the weather permitted us some more play in that game. And of course, Melbourne and Sydney, Australia pretty much annihilated us in every department apart from a few glimpses by some of the quality stars that India have. But overall, I think it's a fair display of the kind of cricket Australia have played, and fair play to them that they have won the Border Gavaskar Trophy after a decade-long wait.
To be honest, I'm just worried about you worry about India and the challenges India have had either home or away. But I've never been worried about India's selection because when every time the IPL's on, there's always a new superstar and there's next cab off the rank and everybody comes with it. I look at this Indian side, especially in Test cricket in the last 12 months, and I'd be concerned if I was an Indian fan because the batters are not firing. I mean, Jasprit Bumrah is bowling by himself for the majority of the time. I mean, where do India start? Because, I mean, yes, the players are getting older, but you've got another big series on the horizon. Coming to England's a massive, massive series. Are Indian fans concerned that are we going with the older side, or do we need to revamp it, keep Jasprit Bumrah, and start changing the rest?
I think so. And if you look at the transition, Stevie, you have been through the England team, which has had quality transition in the last couple of years, especially after the 2019 World Cup, the white ball revolution that England had. And similarly, I think India have to focus on the red ball aspects of the things, because white ball, I think we are pretty much sorted in terms of the kind of players we have in terms of IPL and the domestic circuit. The selectors have been pretty proactive in picking and choosing players for 50 over format, for 20 overs format. But now the concern is whether the newer crop of players are ready made for the 5-day battle, 5-day grind. It's been a 60 days tour, 2 months almost, and all the players must be knackered and they have to get prepared for the Champions Trophy, for the IPL, and then followed by the 5-match England tour, which itself is a pretty much big deal in terms of next WTC cycle for both India and England. So I think the challenge for the selectors, for the top brass of BCCI hierarchy, which is also going through a change. The new secretary and the new treasurer will be appointed in the coming days. So it will be on them as well to give a free hand to the selectors to pick and choose quality cricketers who are grinding out in domestic circuit and not just go by the names. In Indian cricket, from the times of Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, Sachin Tendulkar, we have never had the problem of finding the next new big star, the next big star in terms of Virat Kohli in this generation or a Rohit Sharma. But now I think the challenge will be to find that superstar cricketer who can carry your team for a decade or even longer in the longest format. I'm not talking about the shorter format, but in the longer format. Shubman Gill has been a disappointment in terms of run production. Yashasvi Jaiswal is a talent who needs to perform more consistently to earmark himself as the next big thing. But apart from these two guys, I am currently struggling to find some quality players who can be there for the next decade or so. Stevie.
Subhayan, I'm going to ask you very specifically. Rohit Sharma's
Right.
37. He's dropped himself for the 5th test. Surely he's gone. Virat Kohli, 190 runs at 23. I don't know. I mean, I presume if he wants to go to England, they'll take him. So those are the first two questions. And thirdly, Gautam Gambhir, I always felt was a high-risk appointment. He's prickly, he's cantankerous, he's dictatorial. It's my way or the highway as far as his coaching style is concerned. And even from a vast distance of many thousands of kilometres, it was clear to those of us who watched the Border Gavaskar Trophy that there were schisms and there were rifts in that Indian camp that wasn't happy. Was Gautam Gambhir the right man for the job, and will he keep his job?
It's a very valid question and a fair one, which not only you but the majority of Indian cricket fans on social media are asking right now. Yes, he has had the credential as a top class international player who was once ranked number one in Test format, but in terms of coaching, he has never had the experience of having players or putting up tactical masterclass for the longest format of the game. In T20 cricket, he has done as a captain for the IPL team Kolkata Knight Riders, as the mentor last season for the Kolkata Knight Riders. But in the longest format, there has always been a question mark, and it's pretty funny because it also comes as a reality check to all of us who sometimes sit in front of our television and think that if I was managing the Indian team with 1.4 billion people, it is so easy. We'll just pick the best of 11 and we'll win all the matches. But that's not the case. But I think yes, you are right, because there were some murmurs that Gautam Gambhir had some sort of influence in picking a couple of players for the Border Gavaskar Trophy squad. And now the onus will be on the players. See, Nitish Kumar Reddy was phenomenal in terms of batting, but his bowling is underwork. Harshit Rana made a cracking debut in Perth, but faded out in Adelaide. So the onus will be on the younger guys also, whom the coach or the team management is entrusting the trust upon to deliver in the bigger scheme of things. As I mentioned about Shubman Gill or a Yashasvi Jaiswal, these two players are the big things in Indian cricket. But whether they can deliver consistently like a Virat Kohli did, or a Rohit Sharma did, or a Jasprit Bumrah is doing right now, or a Rishabh Pant has done in the past, it will be on them as well. But dressing room, I won't call it rifts, but it is, we can term it as professional disagreements, where sometimes I'll pick a couple of players whom I think are the big things, can be the big things, but you are saying no, I don't see there is enough quality in them. So it's always a mixed thing in the dressing room, or in a professional setup, where you sometimes tend to disagree. But in terms of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, I sincerely feel the challenge will be on the selection committee, Ajit Agarkar led selection committee, to make that hard call whether they need to go back to domestic cricket, or whether you guys will keep on picking them consistently without those real numbers or performances in the last 4 or 5 years.
I mean, they've won one Test match in 8. Come to England in June, July time. I think you just said there it's easy for anybody to sit there and go, well, and I'll pick the team. 1.4 billion people, the pressure that comes. If I was asking you to sort of get your crystal ball out and think, right, who will be India captain, who will be India coach come first Test match against England, can it be Rohit Sharma? Because numbers don't say it is. And if it's not Rohit Sharma, who is it?
Oh, that's a pretty interesting question. I'll start with the coaching staff itself. They have not had the best of start. They lost an ODI series against Sri Lanka. They lost a home series. They were whitewashed in a home series against New Zealand, and now the result here in Australia. So the start for Gautam Gambhir has not been as rosy as he would have dreamt of. And now, if the Champions Trophy don't go well, if they don't qualify for the final or the semi-final, then things can go pretty downhill for Gautam Gambhir and his coaching staff. And if that happens, if India don't qualify for the semi-final, then I don't see Gautam Gambhir being there for that England tour. Talking about captaincy, see, Rohit Sharma got dropped. As simple as that. His numbers averaging 6 in the entire tour, 31, 32 runs. He was absolutely poor at the nets as well. I was there. I have covered each and every practice session of Rohit Sharma here in Australia, and even in New Zealand when they played three Test series, and he was not there in terms of that aura that Rohit Sharma carries, that confidence that Rohit Sharma carries. So he was outrightly poor there. So the onus will be on Rohit as well, whether he wants to go and play a couple of matches for the India A side to acclimatize to the conditions of the English conditions, and tell the selectors that I am there, I have the hunger to play the longest format at the age of 37, 38. I don't think age matters, but as long as the numbers are there, but his numbers are not there. So does he have that kind of hunger after achieving all these things, that he plays a couple of domestic matches, he plays a couple of matches for the India A side before the mega tour starts? And I don't see him, honestly. If you are asking me, I don't see him in that squad for when the team travels to England. I'm rather seeing Jasprit Bumrah as the captain, with Rishabh Pant or a Shubman Gill or a KL Rahul being the vice captain of the team. I am seeing Jasprit Bumrah leading that side when they arrive in England for that tour, Stevie.
And finally from me, Australia is not we'd call a subtle country. They are prone to the odd social gaffe. But the decision by Cricket Australia not to invite Sunil Gavaskar to be part of the presentation trophy, the presentation, not to present the trophy, was astonishing. There's been no comment that I've seen from Cricket Australia. What's the reaction been like in the Australian media?
No, it's an absolute shame that Sunil Gavaskar was standing there right beside the stage, and no one had the common sense to invite him out on the stage. It is completely baffling. And yes, Cricket Australia spokesperson did give a statement, but that was a very, very, flat one, that, we would acknowledge that we would have preferred to have Sunil Gavaskar up in the stage along with Alan Border. And the most funny part is that the trophy itself is named after him. He's not a Ravi Shastri or other commentator who were present at the stadium there. He's the Sunil Gavaskar, and the trophy named after him. So it's just a common sense. Even if a event manager or a producer spots, oh, Sunil Gavaskar is standing here, why are we not inviting him? That's a common sense. And even if they had not planned to invite Sunil Gavaskar, I think someone should have spotted out there, use some brain, that a legend is standing out there and you are not inviting up on the stage. It's just plain common sense, and a shameful end to the tournament, I would say, because such controversies can be avoided in such a big tournament after such great cricket for 2 months.
Yeah, I agree. I think I wasn't going to come in there, but I think it is. I think to have a trophy named after you, Sonny is never going to go, right, just take my name off the trophy for that. Obviously, if there was a mistake, then great. If it wasn't a mistake, then I think if I was a BCCI, I'd have some question. I don't know why you sort of wouldn't have him there to present the trophy to the winning side. I mean, the loser of the name of the trophy presents it to the winning side. That's saying the series is playing in a great spirit. And Sunil Gavaskar gives it to Pat Cummins, or Alan Border gives it to Jasprit Bumrah. That was on there. Just quickly, just to finish, let's talk about the two-tier test match. Two-tier test match. The best top 7 and the next 3 or 4 or whatever you want to say. How has that gone down in India? Because I personally, it hasn't gone down very well with me. I mean, the top 3, if they want to play with each other, then that's fine. But I think they'll realise soon and quickly that they'll run out of love in the game if there's only the big 3 playing against each other.
No, I think these are just verbal talks and some potato couch discussions that we have while having our fries and coffees. That, why not have 2-tier test championship? I think that's the kind of discussion that has been done in terms of 2-tier test league or test something. I think ICC should rather work on fine tuning the WTC calendar, the WTC FTP. I think 3-match test series are mandatory in terms of any team playing against any team. I think two-match series does not make any sense. Imagine India have not won a test series in South Africa, but when they travel to South Africa, they just play two matches of test cricket. It's just a shame. It's no challenge. If you don't give a West Indies or a Bangladesh a chance to go to Australia or go to England or go to India, come to India and play some hard quality cricket for a month and a half, give them a chance to prove themselves. Yes, if they don't produce the goods, yes, the matches are ending in 3 days. Even if India and Australia are playing each other, the matches are finishing in 3.5 days. It does not make any sense. If you're telling me, oh, if West Indies come to India and they play a test match, it will end in 2 days, and the stadium authorities will have losses. The same is happening when England are coming to India. If you are producing a rank turner, the match is finishing in 2 days, and vice versa in terms of India traveling to England. So ICC should rather sit and plan the WTC FTP in a better way with 3-match test series mandatory for each one, so that we also get some quality cricket and the players themselves know the value of test cricket. And that's how it can grow, in my opinion.
Subhayan Chakraborty, Senior Assistant Editor at Rev Sports. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your last few days in Sydney and safe travels home.
Thank you so much for having me, and it was lovely talking some cricket with you guys.